Well, I think we're alone now. Whoa, my tablet's over here making news. How are y'all doing? Making news. I just saw a news break pop up. Making noise. Hope y'all are doing well this evening. If anybody is here, Progressive Brandon, you have an upcoming payment. Oh boy, just what I wanted. Don't y'all just love your notifications to, just in case you forgot about making a payment, they're going to remind you. Isn't that kind of them? $305 for car insurance. Terrible. Hey, Lisa, how are you? I tell you what, that live stream, I watched it back, and I don't know. The internet is awful because I mean, parts of it was okay. I guess the audio sounded fine to me, but I don't know how people are. And of course, I don't know if anybody in Wichita Falls that streams, but a bunch of people stream from their vehicles, and it looks good, and they get in spots, and it just starts breaking up. But probably half of mine was horrible looking. Now, I'm not on a dedicated service plan with that tablet. And I have been told if you are on like a contract phone or a contract account that you get higher speeds versus like the pay as you go. And this is basically going to be a pay as you go. But the SIM card that I'm using in this is actually a review product. And I'm going to go in there. I could make it unlisted. And then I could pin a comment to the top, and then I could put it back on the schedule, I guess. But it lists like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. It was AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, US Cellular, and then there was like 5 numbers, not words, but numbers like the IP number or something, and it wouldn't connect to none of them except for T-Mobile. So that tells me that even though they advertise on this card that it will connect to these networks, that is not necessarily true, not in this area anyway. I don't know how to word that. But I think because that card's not cheap, it's like $200. And I would not be happy if I ordered a SIM card, and got this kind of service. I did speed test using my mobile, a mobile hotspot off US Cellular, and it was connecting a lot, like 3 times faster than it was using that SIM card. But that SIM card was also set to automatically choose the network. I turned that option off, and I went through all of them to see if they could connect. And the only one that would stay connected to or connect to at all was T-Mobile. So I locked it in on T-Mobile. So I may try it again tomorrow just for a few minutes and see how it is. But I don't know. Anyhow, that's that. Wound up doing a pretty good day today. I mean, for me, I had some screenshots I was going to post on here and share, but that's okay. Not that big a deal. I think it was 126, and it was for how many hours?
Or 2 bomb dropped by the U.S. and buried for
wait. Okay, just a minute, fella. I don't know. I took a screenshot. Oh, there it is. 4 out. Well, I didn't disconnect my mileage tracker I was home a few minutes, so I don't know. Say 4.5 hours, and it was $125 today. Went 40 miles, 40.51 miles. And then when in that 4.5 hours, I also stopped and ate at Taco Casa and did the live stream. So, that what I don't know. Let's see, calculator. What did I say? 120. We'll just go. It was 125 something divided by 4.5. That ain't right. Oh, I hit multiply, didn't I? Yeah, I hit multiply. Well, I wish I'd made that in one day. 125 divided by 4.5. It's $27.77 an hour. That's good money. That's real good money for around here. And 40 miles, nothing wrong with that. I could do that every day. if I had time. I got reviews to do's. Anyway, I had some thoughts on Spark and tips. So if anybody's watching the replay, might take these into consideration. Hello, mother. I just now got on here myself. I don't know. I guess everybody ought to know who you are. I mean, look at the last name. It's pretty obvious. And I think even last night I was saying mom. So anyway, it turned out to be a pretty good day. Oh, did y'all hear this? Where'd it go? Oh my goodness. Oh well, I'll just hit it again. That is not right anyway.
To the index of other news, a World War II bomb dropped by the U.S. and buried for 8 decades exploded this morning at an airport in southwest Japan, 80 years after the war. The 500-pound bomb causing a crater on the taxiway, 23 feet wide, 3 feet deep. More than 80 flights canceled. Authorities tonight say they still don't know what triggered the explosion. To the index of other news, a World War II
Did y'all
bomb
hear
dropped.
that? That's pretty wild, isn't it? 80 years later. How you doing, Ray? Always, yeah. Well, it's your fault I'm always late. I mean, you taught me. It's your fault. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I didn't hear from you today, so I don't guess I got any packages. I did get a package today, though. It's a massager. I don't know. You might want it. It's like a seat. It's basically like a seat cushion. A car seat cushion, but it's supposed to massage your. I don't remember if it massage your shoulders and your lower back and heats, and you just sit on it. So we'll get to that in the next few days. What airport was that? I don't know. It was south.
By the U.S. and buried for 8 decades, exploded this morning at an airport in southwest Japan, 80 years after the war. The 500-pound bomb causing a crater on the taxiway, 23.
Yeah. But I guess that's where the U.S. bombed there, 80 years ago. And they don't know why it just all of a sudden decided to explode. Who knows? I guess they're going to blame it on global warming. Yep. Oh, I should have got my sunglasses on. Because I wear my sunglasses at night. Boy, I tell you what. Spark tips. Just in case anybody's watching the replay, and we'll get to it. So they won't say, man, you said you was going to talk about spark tips and you didn't say anything. There's always a bombshell being found back in London from World War II. Yeah. You hear about it. This one was, I guess it was a pretty accurate bombing. Just not very accurate for igniting because, I don't think they're worried about planes taking off 80 years later. But, yeah. Anyway, I really don't know. My mind just went totally blank on tips. I was just watching another YouTuber and some of the things that they're doing. If you're going to do shopping orders and you're getting produce, put it in bags. That comes from working retail and in the produce department for many years. Yeah. I really don't know. What kind of tips do y'all have for Spark shoppers? Never put packages inside of a mailbox. That's a felony. Although sometimes you ain't got a choice, and around here, I don't know anybody around my town that would fuss about it. But technically, I don't think we're supposed to put anything inside of a mailbox, but I would if I needed to, if it was just one little package or something and I couldn't get to the yard. And that's another thing. Don't take chances with dogs. I delivered to one house out towards Holiday, which is outside Wichita Falls. But they had a dog, but I'd seen the dog and he was friendly. I just never got close to it. And I just opened the gate up and went on. All he wanted to do, or she, I don't know. I didn't pay that close attention. Was just wanting to play. But yeah, man, I tell you what, my mind just went blank on what I was going to be talking about. I just thought if anybody had some spark tips for new drivers, they might throw them out there. Don't take that. I'll tell you one thing that came up at 1:00 this afternoon. And this is one thing that you definitely don't want to do. Oh, look at this shopping order. This, you can see it. Look at the toilet paper and 2 cases of water and 2 big round deals of doggy treats. No food. There was our Walmart shelf where the toilet paper goes. People be buying that up and it ain't even imported. That's what I don't get. Anyway, there was a Sam's order that came up at about 1:00 this afternoon. Oh, there it is. I don't know if you can see it or not. Is it better? Let's see. Oh, well. I think why does it, how does everybody hold their phone up and it just shows it so nicely? What if I did this? But now I can't see if it's showing up or not because I turned my monitor off. I wonder if it would be better. Got to wait till the monitor kicks. Anyway, it's a $7 order, 10.6 miles. That's crazy. Anybody that takes anything like that. So if you're new to Spark, don't take that kind of garbage. And if you're from DoorDash and stuff, you can't. Well, I mean, you can still think about your dollars per mile, but it's not that important on Spark for the simple fact that even a $2 a mile delivery may not be worth it, because $2 a mile could be, if it's just going 2 miles, that's $4. So that's why I say you can't really go by the food delivery mentality on deliveries. You have to go by your if it's a curbside, go by the hour, because it's going to take you in at 45 minutes to an hour. But anyway, I went live earlier and I was testing out that tablet, but the internet is just horrible and it makes it look horrible. Now I did figure out I can use my headphones for the audio, and that worked out pretty good. But the internet speed made it really all pixelated looking. And let's see, Grandpa's random reviews. So anyway, I've got to add a comment to the SIM card that I did a review on, because I don't want people spending $200 on a SIM card and then that doesn't connect good. But I got to put, how you doing, Pork Chop? But I got to put on there that that's for this area. But it shows that they claim that it'll connect to AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, US Cellular, and then there's like 4, think there were 4 like numbers, like services, but I guess they don't have word assignments like an IP number. Only one that was connected was T-Mobile. So I just it shows up. It just won't connect to it, man. And I'm sure they would say, well, that's because they have this blocked out, but it is available in some areas. So I can't say that it's not going to be available, but they make it sound like it's going to choose the best network, the strongest signal, which is false here. But I want to put a comment on there, and I'm going to pin it to the top. So anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to see. Oh well. So anyway, let's just sit back and talk about it. I did get a new. I didn't get it in. I ordered a new background to put on the wall back here. I always use my left hand. You can't see my left hand. My left hand's right here, but it looks like it's my right hand. But anyway, so on the reviews, there's going to be a different background. I'm wanting it to go all the way from one wall to the other. And if I ever do move, I will have a bigger area to cover. Same difference. It's yeah. Another thing on Spark, if you're new to Spark, don't sit around and wait on orders. And did you know? And I forgot that they changed it. You're not supposed to say when you're doing live streams or videos. But anyway, and there I go again. You do not have to sit there. What was it, 10 or 15 minutes like you used to? Now you can sit there in 5 minutes. You can drop that order for long wait time. I saw that on the deal. I don't know if you couldn't really pull that up right now because I'm not on an order. I need to do a screenshot of that. Next time, well, I'll probably do some sparking tomorrow, but I'll get a screenshot of that because I thought that was kind of interesting. I did a couple of different assignments for ProxyPix today. I still hadn't seen a ProxyPix. I did do one thing that I haven't never done is I picked up an order at Home Depot today for Spark. That was it was a little order. Wasn't a big deal, but it just took them a while because the one lady up at customer service didn't know how to do it. The other girl was a little confused about how to do it. And then I guess some kind of manager came up there and they couldn't get their little handheld computers to connect to the internet. They had the little wheel turning just like we do on Spark. Telling you the internet is horrible in Wichita Falls. I don't know how. At Iowa Park, which is a town outside of here, internet's better than what it is here in town. That's what don't make sense. I don't know. I was taking pictures of dumpsters at 2 different golf clubs that were 3 miles apart. I guess I'm assuming they probably paid 20 each. Seems like that's what ProxyPix main prices are, is 20. But yeah, I went live earlier just to mainly kind of test out that tablet and see how it was. I wound up having to move it. Travelers helped me out. He was on there and said it looked like a 5 earthquake. What's the word? Category 5 earthquake, or not category? That'd be a hurricane. On the Richter scale, a 5.0 earthquake. Hello, Mary's Gigs. Yeah, just 20. Also did a couple of coffee shops, same area. Oh, that's cool. I enjoyed doing ProxyPix. One day I did a house and I took longer than I should have. I just wanted to check out that house. Man, that was a big, big house. Oh man, I could have really put it had a game room that was bigger than my entire apartment. That would have made a really nice studio. That'd have been cool. But I wound up spending a lot of time at that house just I was taking all the pictures, but you know, taking it all in. Nice old house. You like proxy pictures? I do like them. I just we don't ever get them. I looked up that one the other day. What was it? June or July was the last one. I've seen one or two offered since, and they were horrible. They're like 22 miles out of town for $20 or whatever it was. Yeah. But yeah, don't wait around on spark orders if they don't get out there. And you have to, if you're going to wait around, you get too much time invested. Then you wind up putting yourself in a bind because you got too much time invested. So I wouldn't wait over 15 minutes. I just wouldn't. And drive around in the parking lot and try to start your trip in different areas of the parking lot or within a quarter of a mile of the store. Most Walmarts are going to have a dead spot. You can't use airplane mode anymore. If y'all have been around long enough to know what airplane mode was, it just disconnected your internet and you could start your trip. But I can't get spark orders at Walmart's. Huh. Are you? Are you? Well, I'm assuming you're signed up for them, but I know people can get blacklisted. They tried to blacklist me at one of the Walmarts. I got it straightened out the next day. It was a miscommunication between a loader and myself about a delivery that I returned. I think they black, blocked the signals. I'm not sure what they're doing. Go inside Walmart or get up close to the building and connect to their Wi-Fi because there are cell blockers that some people will use and it will block other cell phones. I think they were used here briefly, but I don't know that. But I do know they exist because you can buy them off the internet. I mean, you can buy them probably from Best Buy because companies use them to block people from using their cell phones while they're at work. It's blockers. Hmm. So even the Walmart's Wi-Fi is blocked as well. That's wild. Hmm. I would check more into that. Hmm. I don't know. So if I go across the highway, I can get orders from one. Oh, that was probably loud. I'm sorry. Uh, there was talk, and I don't know it for sure. I just read it on Reddit. A few people was talking about, and it does exist. It's the geo fence. It's how they determine who's closest because Walmart Spark goes by proximity, and they can change that. But I didn't realize that they could block that. But that would make sense because they a lot of WalMarts, and I've only read about it. I don't know it, but a lot of WalMarts start fussing at people like Spark drivers for parking in the parking lot. I don't see how they really could get away with that because I don't know. But if they've got that set to where you have to be so many feet away from Walmart, that could be the case. Our main Walmart here I know where to sit. It's kind of over. There's a lot of people that park right up in the pickup area, not in the pickup spots, but in the drive going to the pickup spots. I don't park that close, but park out towards the side of the parking lot. But you can also park across the road. There's an academy across the road. You can park over in that parking lot and get just as good of orders. Yeah. I line up sitting on the ground by the Walmart. Oh, wow. There's a guy that, and actually Steve is putting on, or not him, but he's showed videos, I think, on his channel. A guy that flies a drone around, and there's like 5 or 6 people that sit around, all the darker complected, not from around here. Yeah, probably Venezuela, but I don't know. I guess it's in different place. Yeah, we used to have issues with the illegals here, and you knew they were. You knew exactly what they was doing because of what you hear, what you read, and then you see it done. But I know our one Walmart. Oh, that was another tip. I know our one Walmart has barred 2 of them, and they all disappeared. But that was another tip. When you are doing a shopping order, if you are getting something of if you're getting a drink, a bag of chips, whatever for yourself, pay for that first. Now, here they have designated out a row of registers that are supposed to be strictly for Spark drivers. The regular customers go through there, but it's card only. It's supposed to be scan and go. But go over to a regular register, pay for your stuff, put it in the bag. You know how you kind of tighten it up, but put your receipt right there so they can see it without any question. Then go do your scan the barcode thing on the QR code on the register. I know it's got a name. I forget what it's called, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But always make sure you pay for your stuff first, because if you get caught twice in one day, they can bar you from that store, but they have to catch you twice. Anyway, that particular Walmart barred some illegals because they checked for IDs, and their IDs did not match up, so they barred them. And now they've disappeared. Knock on wood, they have disappeared from Wichita Falls. At least at Walmart. I don't know. They may be doing DoorDash or Uber Eats. I don't know. I don't fool with those apps anymore. But yeah, I don't know if they're illegal, but there's definitely groups working together. It's real easy to tell because here you could sit there and you would see somebody with a shopping cart that everything's bagged up. When you walk in from the doors, you got most Walmarts have a bench sitting there. And I have seen lots of them, and over by the ice machine inside the second door, sitting around with a grocery cart full of groceries. And then if you'll just watch them, you'll see them go out in the parking lot and put it in a car. And then I don't know if they exchange phones. I'm sure they do, because I don't know how else they would do it. But they'll walk up to the driver's door, and then they walk back into the store, start another shopping order. Husbands and wives, or boyfriends and girlfriends, or if you're a couple, or 2 friends, and you both have legitimate active accounts, I'm not saying that it's right, but I understand it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when you have a whole group of people, you've got one delivery driver, one shopper. It's just like a job. Whoever can shop the fastest they're going to be the shopper. Whoever can drive the best, they're going to be the driver. And I'll sit there and watch them right here in Wichita Falls. So it's real obvious what was going on there. And they all have the same complexion. I think they're doing it with DoorDash. They very well may be. I don't honestly know. The only DoorDash drivers I see is a young man that lives across the hall from me, uh, across the way right there. He gets DoorDash occasionally, and because there's a couple of people that it sounds like uh, it's very loud coming up the stairs. Um, so I'll look at my little peephole, and they're legitimate. They're citizens. It appears, you know, and I don't know. I don't care what color, where anybody's from. Makes me no difference as long as they're legal. I don't care, and I think, and Steve had that conversation the other day about if they can't speak English, and no, that was Pedro, wasn't it? Pedro had that, and I don't care if they can speak English or not, but they need to speak enough English to be able to communicate. I don't speak Spanish, but I can go to a Spanish restaurant and I know what they're asking, you know, for the most part. I mean, you may not be able to know what each food is, but when you order fajitas and they come back over and they say something that makes you think of tortillas, that's what they're asking you. If you want more tortillas, it's not rocket science. I mean, a lot of it you can pick it up, but they should be able to speak enough to communicate at least a little. And if they're genuinely interested in everything, they'll pick up on it. Just give them time as long as they're legal. That's all I'm saying. Yo, Jay Twist Snyder Alley Gigs, how you doing? Hey, Grandpa, Jason here. Jay Twist, I like that. That's cool. Yeah, you change names like I change underwear, don't you? Okay, maybe I change my underwear a little more often, but do you have any idea how much money they have to spend to become a citizen here? No, I don't. Um, where I live, we have had illegals coming across the border way before I was born, and they've worked a lot of farms, a lot of ranches, and most of them was good people. They're honest, good, hardworking people. And a lot, even nowadays, you can drive up to most construction sites, and you might have one person that can speak English, and who knows if the rest of them are legal. But these are our neighbors, and I'm not. I know that may be hypocritical, but they're the ones that are coming from Venezuela have been forced out of their country because they're coming out of prisons, mental institutions, everything else. And that's not just hearsay, that's fact. I know it's all political stuff, saying all that, but it is true fact. But, well, I do know that it is expensive because I do know somebody personally that is from, where is he from? Uh, Scotland, Ireland, somewhere, and he came over on a visa, and that's been 10 years ago. but that's what his issue is because there was a lot of red tape to go through, and I don't know, I get it, but that's crazy. If that's the case, and they wanted to come over legally, I don't think they should have. I don't think they should have to pay. To be honest with you, that's you know. But what gets me is they're giving them bank cards, and then setting them up in hotels and then transporting them and everything else. And the ones that are coming over legitimately illegal, they don't get crap. They come over here and work their butts off. And that's what we've had here in Texas all my life, probably most of my mom's life. Um, and, you know, uh, that's just the way it is. But when you know, and the thing of it is there's been people that are on watch lists and people of interest, and they cover all that up and say, "Do not report that. Do not arrest them. Leave them alone." It's a bunch of politics crap, and you know, I don't know. You're right. I mean, that is a good point. Is how much it cost to come over or get citizenship. You're right about that. I mean, and that is, yeah. I guess you're talking about that scam, but whatever you're talking about, it's a scam that it costs that much. I recall the fun and games I had when moving to the U.S. A lot of paperwork, and each visit to immigration office meant paying more money. I don't know. I used to work with a guy that he had dual citizenship. Dual citizenship. He was German. He was from Germany. Uh, I don't know how that works, but I just don't. My I just have the issue with the ones that's got records and they're just escaping their country to get out of prison. You know, if somebody comes over here and wanting to work and make a life, you know, Make make it right. I don't know. You made a good point. Now you made me kind of halfway understand if it costs thousands of dollars to become a citizen. But you know, our government. You know, I worked at most of you know I've talked about. I worked at a state hospital. There's about 80% of the mental patients out there is because of drugs, but a lot of them have issues, but they self-medicate with street drugs. And when they come in there, they get straightened out because they're getting real medication and real treatments. And then when they get released, they get a 60-day, a 30-day, 60-day, or a 90-day supply, or they did. They may change it. And that may depend on that person and the medication, but they get a X amount of medications. Some of that medication is, it costs them $500 a month or more for their psych meds, and most of them can't afford that, so they go back to the medicine that helps them cope with life. But a lot of them, they kind of mess their life up by getting on that street medication to begin with, but they screwed up. You can't condemn them for life because they screwed up. There was one guy, and my son knew him. He hung out at the skate park. He fried his brain. He did it one time. He says, who knows the real truth, huffing gas, and he fried his brain. He wasn't dangerous, but he was way out there. And my son saw him hanging out at the skate park, and I told him if he sees him out there, just ignore him. I mean, you can talk to him, but just don't worry about him. He's harmless, nice kid. Yeah, yeah, drugs definitely are, and that's what kind of bothered me because it was a revolving door a lot of times on some of the patients. They would get straightened out, be doing good. They get to go to activities or going to class or doing everything they have to do. Then they get released. And in about 3 to 4 months later, they're back. It's because they ran out of medication that was when they got released. They ran out of medication and they wound up falling back into that self-medication. And it's a messed up deal. You're going to have to take citizens tests. And of course, it costs more money. And I do remember hearing something about that you had to say the national anthem and all that, and or not. What was it? A pledge of the Pledge of Allegiance thing. You had to recite all that, and then you had to know what was it, certain presidents or vice presidents and all that. I bet you 90% of the younger generation couldn't recite the uh, Pledge of Allegiance. It wouldn't surprise me because they don't. When I grew up in school, we had prayer and then we had Pledge of Allegiance every morning. And then when I went to McNeil, our principal would play "We Are the Champions" and "We Will Rock You" by Queen. Looking back on that, he was a pretty cool principal. We call him Big O. My mom probably remembers us talking about him. She may have met him once or twice because of my sister, not me. Mr. Ozzy. Anyway, it was pretty cool. But yeah, they have blacklisted the ones that was not legal at these Walmarts. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Um, Add on to the spark tip. Yes, some people think that when you get a cart check, they will check 3 items, and yes, they do. However, more and more Walmarts are checking every single item, and if yours says good to go and you start backing that stuff up, they can come over there and make you empty every one of those bags. I haven't had that happen because I don't load them where you can't see them, and they want to see your phone, and they want to look at that list and make sure that everything on that. And most of them will count the items. They don't actually look at them. It's what a girl told me a couple of days ago. She said most of us just count the items. If you're supposed to have 19 items, you better have 19 items on your phone. If you have 21 items in the cart and you only have 19 items, then they're going to go through there and check it. And then that's one strike against you. Do it again that day, and you will be bored. So. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yep. You have to know historical figures, and yes, you do have to take the pledge. They give you a test, and then they pick 50 questions randomly from a list of 100 that you should have been studying. Man, that would be tough. That was, working out here at the state, they had to do competency tests, and some of those questions, some of them was, what's today, the day of the week and the year. And then they would be asking, who is the president and the vice president? And then they would say, repeat after me: red, green, blue, pink, yellow, and green. And you had to it progressed. You repeat 2 words after them. Then you'd repeat 4 words, and then they would continue. Some of them guys, I had to go and sit with them, and I would be trying to do it in my head quietly. I couldn't do it. And you tell me that is legit. I mean, that's crazy. And I guarantee you, probably anybody 25 years of age or younger, not everybody, but a good majority of them, 25 years of age and younger, probably could not answer the 50 questions you're talking about. Uh, I would have to stop and really think about who's been president since Johnson, because Kennedy was gone before I was born. But yeah, the competency test, that they would be asking you questions like that. I'm like, ain't no way. And I don't know. I just think I think they ought to run some kind of as far as foreigners go, they ought to run some kind of background check on you. And if you're clean, get you going. If you come over and you go through the what you're supposed to do, and you sign up and you do all that and give them your information. That ought to be that. Shouldn't be happening. I don't think you really ought to pay. I mean, I don't think that's fair. They do a background check, lots of checks. I bet it's even worse now after 9/11. Let's see, older than that. Oh, older than Johnson. I know it was Kennedy, and I think Kennedy was assassinated in what, 63? Because I think he was president when my sister was born, and that would have been in 62. And I think he got assassinated in 63, and then I was born in 65. I was 2 years old watching Mr. Dressed Up eating a tuna free sandwich when Kennedy died. Hello, Steve. How are you doing, sir? I got a question for you, Steve. And probably anybody else that does live streams. When y'all do live streams and you're out and about, do y'all use StreamYard or do y'all use the YouTube, the one that you can stream? I tried streaming today and I watched the replay. The audio was okay. I wound up using my headset, but the video is pixelated, and it's because of the bandwidth, because of the slow internet. But what I was wondering if StreamYard or YouTube, one of them would require less, would do better with a slow internet speed, or if there was another streaming software out there that would do better with a slow internet speed. 63. Well. What is this? Oh, that was on that guard light. You know, that's what gets me is I get these emails, because the majority, not all of them, but a lot of the sellers that I deal with are China. They're Chinese. And I always had it in my mind that, you always hear about the sweatshops and, all the slave labor and all this and that. Them people are off probably 4 months out of the year for different holidays. They have a different holiday for everything. There's been off from the 1st to the 6th. And I've gotten an email today and then one just now. So they must be kind of filtering back in. StreamYard can process individual guest audio and video. So even if the stream is breaking up live, it can clean it up in processing. Well, you're talking about later when it processes it. Well, I've watched my replay, but it may not have been finished processing it because the live chat wasn't on there. And I don't know. It was real choppy. When I got outside of Wichita Falls, out south of Wichita Falls, Lakeside City, it was a cleaner video than what it was in Wichita Falls, going down one of the main streets there, Kemp Street, Mom. But the video looked better out there. It's like when you get into town, it gets not very good. But I just didn't know if there was something that was better than some, that required less system resources and it kind of helped boost it. But I guess not. But I did check I'm not getting the same speed with this SIM card on this tablet as I am with my cell phone. My cell phone is a contracted phone, and that is probably more of like a pay as you go. And I have talked to different cell providers, and they all have said the same thing. If you're on a pay-as-you-go plan or something like that, you do not get the connection speeds that you do if you're on a contracted plan, which if I ask one, I wouldn't believe it. I figured to be a scam, them trying to make you get in the contract. But 3 different cell phone companies told me that, and I don't think they all 3 would be lying. And well, they could be, but one of them didn't even recommend the place that they worked. They recommended another one. So I don't know. When I did Last Mile Wednesday live and do it through YouTube Studio after, do you think it connects better? I mean, StreamYard is better, as I know, if you're going to have guests on, and StreamYard, I can take the device and turn it, and it automatically turns it. And YouTube, it won't. You have to. I never figured it out, but you have to go in there and change the orientation. But I just didn't know if one would do better than the other. I'd kind of like to start streaming a little bit. I did get it to where it wasn't shaking. Travelers told me that it looked like a uh, 5 earthquake. What do you call that? I'm not good with earthquakes and all that. I think when you are driving, bus like, oh, okay, might do it. I may try it again tomorrow, and I'm gonna do the hotspot. I did my other mobile phone hotspotted through this phone, and it was horrible. I wound up deleting it. But with that tablet, it may be better because I'm getting a better internet connection hotspotting. I'm getting the same connection hotspotted with a speed test on the tablet versus a speed test on my phone. I'm getting the same speed. So they might be communicating better. I don't know. But I'm going to try it tomorrow, I think. It's not a big deal, but I definitely would be upset if I'd have paid money for this SIM card that's supposed to be good and connect to these different servers because it does not. Not here anyway. It's supposed to connect to T-Mobile, Verizon, US Cellular, AT&T, and then there was 4 other ones with just numbers and not words, and it wouldn't connect to any of them except for T-Mobile. And it could be because it was selected to auto connect to the supposed to be the strongest signal, so maybe it's trying to connect to them other ones. So I made it primarily T-Mobile. So I may try that and then switch to the hotspot and see which one's better. Yes, there's all the bad signal zones and get a video in that area and be audio until you get back in the good zone. Well, 80% of the zone I was in Wichita Falls today was bad. I mean, it wasn't like horrible, but it's a couple of spots that you could hear it sounded like a spring. You know, y'all know what I'm saying, probably. But anyway. But yeah, I think it's hello, Alex. How are you, sir? But I really want to reiterate that one tip on the Spark thing for anybody that watches this later, if they do. I don't know if they will, or if y'all know somebody new to Spark, make sure to tell them that just because you do not get a cart check pop up on your phone when you're doing a shopping order, a lot of Walmarts, and I'm reading it on Reddit too, because they're doing it there. They're doing it here. A lot of them are starting to check every item. They're counting items. And if you got personal items, pay for them first. In other words, there's no questioning. You're like, oh, I meant to pay for that, but I forgot to. There's no, I mean, once, my bad. Twice, I should have known better. A third time, no, you're out. But just pay for your personal items first. And that checking the 3 items is becoming a thing of the past because they're going to wind up counting every item. It takes more time and it's a kind of a hassle, but look at the hassle there. Don't get mad at the people on that front end. They're just doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to do. So don't be mean and hateful to them. It's aggravating because you're wanting to hurry up and go. I get it 100%, but they're just doing their job. And if you'll just show them your phone and let them get their job done, you can be in and out, and it's better than arguing about it. Because if you argue about it, they do have the authority to go talk to the front end manager and have you barred from that store, blacklisted on the Spark app. They can't get you kicked off the Spark, deactivated, but they can blacklist you from that store. That is fact. Yeah, if y'all ain't got nothing to do, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. The thumbs up button. And Steve, by the way, sir, you did not show up last night for the live stream, and I got out that lift chair specifically because you said you mentioned it. Well, you didn't say that you would come watch it, but I'm just messing with you, man. But I did get it out. It gave me something to do for the video, and it gave Ellen. She was talking about that's what she was needing for her mother, or her dad needs for her mother. And I wished it wasn't so far. And, you know, I could sell it to her pretty cheap. But by the time you pay for the shipping, unless you want to do a long distance delivery, but I'm just afraid that the shipping would cost more than by the time you paid a little bit for the lift chair and then you paid the shipping. It might have been just as cheap to order it straight off Amazon. But if her dad is taking care of her mom, you know, and having to pick her up, then it really ought to. He really ought to check into something like that because it can be beneficial. I didn't mean to watch it. Gators in town from Tulsa. Oh, okay. Oh, is that who you was talking to? I didn't know who it was in the live. He seemed pretty cool. Of course, he's cool. He's from he's the neighbor, about 200 miles. I forget how far it is to Tulsa. Oklahoma City's 130. Yeah, probably 180, 190 miles. I don't know. Just right up the road. You're right up 287, and Tulsa's right up I-44. Just a spit in the holler. Oh, you enjoy watching lift chair? Those are really cool, but I do think the other one, the first one I did, it's heavier, but it seemed like it was stronger. But this one did just as well, and it's a little bit cheaper. So, and I think the lift capacity is about the same. Either way, I think both of them be good. Both of them's on the review channel. Actually, the lift chair is not on the review channel yet, but it will be October 9th. I've got 2 videos coming out each day now on random reviews, and I just want to see what it does on short. And I was comparing the analytics between the watch hours, Dash and Grandpa, versus the random reviews. The random reviews is blowing away. I mean, it's not even in the same ballpark. But I don't know. You know, it's your watch time that really matters. I mean, once you get monetized, it doesn't matter if you got 1,000 subscribers or 10,000. If you're not getting the watch time, you can have 10,000 subscribers and it's not going to be that great. If you had 1,001 subscribers, enough to get you monetized, and everybody watched more time, you'd make more off that 1,000 than you would the 10,000 because it's the watch time. And the watch time is, in my opinion, probably for some bigger channels, it's not. But the watch time for mine, and comparing to Dirty Shoes Adventures and Dash and Grandpa, it's not even in the same ballpark. Neighbors that are 150 miles away, 150 miles gets to the beach and back in England. Neighbors are in the same road. Yeah. I mean, you can look at it on Because from here to Denver, all you got to do is go up to Amarillo and go north and right on straight up into Denver. Tulsa is even easier than that. I can get right out here on I-44 by the other Walmart. Just go north. You go to Oklahoma City and right on straight up to Tulsa. I can be. Let's see. I bet it's closer from here to Denver than it is from here to Beaumont, Texas. I'm just curious. Not that it matters. I'm not. Let's see. Distance from Wichita Falls to Beaumont. Beaumont. 6 hours. Well, I guess Denver's further. That's 422 miles. 6 hours. Okay, 422 miles from Denver. I can spell. Well, it's 200 more miles to Denver. But a lot of difference between Denver and Beaumont. Although Beaumont is pretty. Get down there in southeast Texas. But I still want to go to Denver and ride snowmobiles someday. That's a bucket list thing for old grandpa. Anyway, y'all, it is, what time is it? 10:06. I really need to be getting to work. Yeah, I've got a couple of reviews to do, and anyway, got to get them done. Don't have any editing to do, so I got to get the reviews done. So I'll have some editing to do, but they're going to be pretty quick and easy. I want to ride a snowmobile. I've never close. I don't even know how that would compare to a jet ski. Well, I'm waiting on you, Steve. I really want to try. I didn't even know you're still here, Pork Chop. I thought you done run off. Okay, I'm gonna hold you to it, Steve, because I just looked it up. What was it? 6 hours? I don't remember. I just looked at it. Man, now I'm curious. Falls to Denver. 9 hours and 51 minutes. Hop, skip, and a jump. Anyway, yep. Good night, Miss good night, Pork Chop. Thanks for being here. I wrote them in Sweden and Switzerland. I ain't never. Well, I can say I ain't never been out of the United States, but I have been to Mexico. Not Mexico, actually. It was Cozumel and Progreso. Wichita Falls to Salida. Salida. What popped up? Oh, that's even closer. 9 hours and 35 minutes. That is just that'd just be a couple hours further than going down to South Texas. Not bad at all. I could do that in one drive. Of course, you might want to stop. Where was that we stopped? That might have been going to St. Louis. Can't remember. It was Uranus. Was it Uranus, Missouri, or somewhere else? Kind of a funny place. Anyhow, the only thing I remember, I mean, not the only thing I remember, but the worst memory I've got of Colorado is Authentic Mexican food. That was the nastiest food I ever ate in my life, and I don't even remember where it was at, but one in some little old town going to where did we go? Anyway, if that was authentic Mexican food, them poor folks need to take a little trip down to Juarez or somewhere and find out what real Mexican food is. But it was nasty. Yeah, that's Mexico. But well, when I think of Mexico, I'm thinking Tijuana. Tijuana. Yeah, but you're right. It is Mexico. We will ride them over the Continental Divide. Bring a GoPro. I got 2 GoPros. One of them will probably frost over, so then I'll get the other one out. And I still got those gloves I tried to give you, so I might ought to hang on to them now. Yeah, I'll be ready to rock and roll. Hopefully, I won't have any. I'll get caught up on reviews, and if I know a little bit of time, I'll just cut them off. Say I am taking off for a few days. I will not be here. Of course, they wouldn't know the difference anyway. I could still answer their emails. I'll get to that. Yes. That's next on my list. To pass the thing along, to make them happy. As long as they keep the products coming in and a little bit of money here and there, I'm happy. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get off here and act like I'm working. So you can review Sonoma Biscuit. I wouldn't even know where to start. How wide the tracks are, how wide the seat is, how tall they are off the ground. Some of this stuff, like the mobility scooters, I've watched some reviews on that. And that last mobility scooter, I did realize that you need to, after the fact, but you need to measure the height from the ground or from the ground to the seat, and from the base where you have to step up on it, because that'll give you your ground clearance. Because if you live in a rougher terrain area, you can't ride anything that's 2 inches off the ground. But yeah, you can. How well it rides, speed, handling. You could review them. Yeah, I could. I could review the location where we're going to. Powder pack. I don't know. I just hear them in the winter, and because used to, I don't know if they do it anymore, but used to they would give ski reports for like Vail and places like that, down here, because people down here, they go up there and Red River and what's that other place in New Mexico towards Liberty. Oh well, doesn't matter. Review the Continental Divide. Yeah, we'll definitely do it, and I'll bring me something to review and make it a legitimate tax deduction for my mileage. Wolf Creek in Colorado is owned by a Texan. That's cool. Every time I hear Wolf Creek Pass or Wolf Creek, I think of Wolf Creek Pass, part of that song. Wolf Creek Passway across the Great Divide, trucking on down the other side. What was that, Convoy? Can't remember. Back in the 70s, they had all them truck driving songs like that, the movies. Anyway, I don't even remember who sang that. It wasn't Tom T. Hall, but I don't remember. Anyhow, I enjoy hanging out with y'all, but I also get really behind if I keep putting stuff off. Oh, I got a heater. I got to do that heater. I've had that heater a minute, and I heated lunch kit. I did watch Walmart, I know you probably wouldn't want them. Walmart has those Mr. Beast lunch boxes on clearance. And I watched a review on those the other day. It kind of struck me as, ironic that I see them on clearance and I just watched a review on them. Talking about how little the little spots are where you put food, and they're right. That would be a lunchbox for probably a 4-year-old that just wants little snacks and not food. Anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out and chewing the fat, as they say. So I do appreciate it. And if anybody's watching this later and you haven't yet, you can jump over and subscribe to Grandpa's Random Grandpa's Random Reviews. 766 subscribers. I hope to hit 1,000 before the end of the year. That would be really cool. So anyway, y'all have which hand can you see? You can see this one. Good night, Moon. Y'all have a good night. Y'all keep smiling, dashing, dancing, prancing, doing whatever it is you want to do. Y'all just keep doing something because you're going to grow old if you don't. I'll catch y'all next time. Oh, yeah. Keep smiling. I did say that. Okay. Good night, y'all.